allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for the nation, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please silence your electronic leashes and other electronic gizmos that like to make noise. I will move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I made the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Scott seconded.
Got it.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Financial quarterly comparison to last year and approval of report.
I've got 20 or so copies right there on the end of the desk. This is January, February, and March comparison. Really didn't go down much, ending with just under 1.1 million dollars. Starting at 1.11. So it looks like a pretty flat line, right? Otherwise, this month's we're back up a little bit, 1.3. So I think we've gotten a little bit of money in. Total assets just under 2 million for the first time. And as far as expenses, I was looking at this, $11,000 for Devereaux and Company, county, professional fees. I mean, I think that makes sense. 12 is another big one for the community property management, CPM, right? But almost every other one, 7480 for 1L lawn, but anything's the next size is $2,500, and that's money going back to homes when we build with stuff. Other than that, everything's small.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve.
yeah, I make a motion to approve. The budget.
Who seconded it? I second it.
Discussion?
There it is.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. ACC June Committee Report. Kent is joining us via the airwaves.
Oh.
Maybe.
There's pictures there.
MacBook speakers. My end's good, Ken. That can't. You're muted, Kent.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
The ACC continues to review and approve projects. We approve 10 or more every monthly meeting. Unfortunately, the lion's share of them come just a couple, 3 days before the meeting, and it doesn't allow us to review them ahead of time the way we'd like. But so I would like everyone to, try to get the word out. To the sooner we get the projects, the better the process goes. I would also urge everyone to submit their projects electronically through CPM. It goes immediately to the Vantica. Everyone on the committee can review it then. If it, while it's nice to have Haley be able to, you can submit a project to Haley and she can scan it in and send it to CPM. She has a ton of other things going on, and this is something that we can bypass her time. She can spend her time doing much more important things, in my opinion. So I would ask every board member to urge people to submit their projects electronically if that comes up in discussion. We also continue to work through our spreadsheet of projects that were some of them on the books for a year or 2 years, etc. And we continue to reduce the number of those and get those projects taken care of. And we should hopefully have that resolved in the next few months. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Road report.
On the roads report, we had a collapsed culvert on Peachtree in a road cave-in. We do have the new concrete culvert, which should last 80 to 100 years, hopefully, versus the galvanized culvert that collapsed. So the road is half closed right now. It will be fully closed, I believe, in the morning. And hopefully pipe will be starting to be installed by Wednesday, we hope. And gravel back in, and then the asphalt whenever we do the roads here coming up in about 3 to 4 weeks, we hope. We'll lay the asphalt into that area. So I think we've executed it about as fast as we can for that repair. And then as far as the roads report and the asphalt, we've got about 30, I think it's actually about 43 spots that are going to be getting asphalted. Waiting on one more bid to come in, but it's going to be approximately right around $230,000 worth of work being done in addition to the $70,000 we did last fall. So there'll be a lot of small places that are getting fixed that are in dire need of it. We will have more roads to do in the next batch when we can get that going. But this first batch is going to be pretty substantial, but by no means is it going to cover all the roads. It's going to definitely get the bad spots that you see in the spots that are painted out now. So, that's where we're at on that.
Okay, I would like to thank Dave and Scott for being very diligent in watching the road, being aware of the issues with the roads and blocking them all. I know it is an inconvenience, but it's better to have an inconvenience than to drop your car into a 3-foot culvert. The roads in here will continue to need repair, and as we see how the assessments come in, we'll be looking at some additional road work.
I want to thank Darren too for the work on that stuff as well.
I always miss somebody, sorry.
Yes.
Lakes and beaches.
Well,
Before we start, I want to commend Scott on the work that he's been doing with lakes and beaches. The time he puts in, the work that he does, the area around the beach looks very good. We've diverted a lot of the problems that we were having in the past with sand erosion. We will continue to work on that. And Scott has done an excellent job of pushing those things forward. Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna pour concrete tomorrow and finish the wash station, not the plumbing part, but the concrete will be finished tomorrow afternoon. And so on rest of that, we treated the lakes once with copper sulfate, and it seemed to knock it down. And we're gonna just play it by ear and go to the next treatment and see what we need. But other than that, we've had the good luck with the food truck at the beach, nothing getting tore up. We've got one Johnny on the spot, and we've got the bathrooms open. They've been open since spring. We've had one accident, nasty accident. But other than that, we've had good luck. And everybody's getting along and enjoying the food truck. So that's it for the lakes and beaches. Come down and check it out if you haven't been down there. That's it.
And we are looking at alternative treatments for the lakes, looking at some enzymatic and different approaches from just the harsh chemicals that are environmentally hazardous. Thanks, Scott. Technology and security report.
From a technology perspective, we've started executing on our project list and our roadmap, so we're gonna be working through that. We'll provide some updates as we start to execute and complete those projects. From a security perspective, so we've started to, I say we, and it's really Matt and Scott working through pulling and extrapolating data regarding gate information. That's your entries and your exits and your failures in your code. So we're starting to pull that information out, and we're going to start putting that into a report at some point to share out at our meetings so that we can see the depth and breadth of activity that's going on. Some key metrics that we started to pull out. Matt created a report, basically like the front gates, sometimes at the center, active gates, moving gates. There's been year to date 1,414 denial of entry codes. The flock camera has scanned over 50,823 vehicles with a total of 103 hot lists. That means those plates came back as they were doing something they weren't supposed to be in the criminal system somewhere. So that's kind of a snippet of information that we're going to start pulling out and be able to share some of those statistics. From the security incident reports, since our last meeting, there's been at least 10 security incidents ranging from some light damage, trespassing, and some speculative behavior down at the beach. And I tell you what, Scott and Matt are eyes in the back of their head, so we're getting them. We're getting there. Am I forgetting anything, Scott? No. I think that's it from technology and security.
And a lot of, go ahead.
The camera. You want to talk about that at all?
What we're getting ready to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them what we're gonna do. We're gonna put light.
You tell them that part,
Well, we're gonna do, this is sort of lakes and beaches and security. We're gonna put a live stream camera down at the boat ramp with a weather station hooked to it. So you'll be able to go on Raintree site or however they live stream it out. And there's gonna be a picture of the lake all the time. And there's a weather station that's gonna be hooked to it. And then somehow we're gonna do a little flag in the corner, and when the lake's closed, or not closed, but no wake, somebody from out of town or not here won't have to call the office or get online to say, hey, is the lake open or closed? They'll be able to go to the live stream, get the weather, get the wind. And then we're gonna share it with Channel 4 probably, like Innsbruck does Channel 2. And then it'll be promotion for Raintree. People might see that and say, hey, where's that at? I wanna go there. And then I think we've got county lots we can sell them real cheap, so it's all gonna work. We're gonna work 3 people together, try to promote it for our people that we have. Maybe we'll get some new people to come in and take some lots for us and revenue some money. So that's gonna happen, and Dan's taking care of it, and it should be within a month.
Nice.
Well, and I will remind everybody that a lot of the issues that we have within Raintree with vandalism and other issues are not outsiders. People that live here. As I understand it, I'm not allowed to shoot people. There are times that I'd like to. But
Just like
just
it's
just be aware that the gates only do part of the job. We as residents and neighbors have to watch out for each other. And if you see something, please let us know. We are not enforcers. We can't go out and arrest people. The best way to deal with a situation that you see is to call the sheriff's department, and they will activate deputies out here. We have several deputies that actually live in Raintree, and their response time is pretty good. It would be nice if everybody obeyed all the rules, but unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. Maintenance report.
Okay, back to me. We're busy. We've got a new 1099 worker, Paul, lived here multiple years with John, and we're trimming trees. And last week we sent out, CPM sent out a letter. We're looking for trees to trim. We have trees to trim. We've got 40 something that people turned in, keep turning in. We're cleaning culverts out from under the street, not ditches yet. Culverts and trees and trying to weed stuff but they're working 4 hours a day and it's gonna work out real well. It's real nice to have some people that live in here that care about our community, that want to work with us. So that's where our maintenance is at.
And just a reminder that if you have a culvert going under your driveway, please maintain that, keep it clean, because that does relieve the water for everybody and gets the water down to where it needs to be. Also under maintenance report, we do have a guest speaker. Is this the time that they could speak real quick?
That'd be fine.
Okay. Joe Kellett is, I'm gonna let him tell his story.
No questions.
No questions right now, just let him speak, tell the story, do a little background fast, and then just kind of, what's your opinion on around here, as far as our dams go?
Okay. My name is Joe Kellett, obviously, and I worked with the Corps of Engineers for 35 years, doing construction on dams. I did a fair amount of design on dams, both here in St. Louis and in the Northwest. So, I have been around them quite a bit, and before I lived in Braintree for about 5 years. Before I moved into Braintree, one of the things I did was take a look at the dams and the roads and some of the things around here. And my impression from then hasn't really changed. The dams here, in my opinion, are very well designed and well maintained, and they're actually in very good shape. In my opinion, the roads need the fun. Yeah, I was happy to hear that they're fixing the roads, but the dams themselves appear to me to be in very good condition. I would say this: there's whoever designed those, along with working with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, did a really great job of thinking about the operation and the future of those dams. All the 3 main dams, I would call, are all on different tributaries to the creek. So if one dam were to fail, it doesn't have an effect on the other dams, which is a great way to start when you lay it out. And then we actually have 5 lakes, but if you really look at it, we really only have 3 dams with weirs in the upstream portion of a couple of those lakes. I forget, what are the names of
Winter.
two small
Summer.
lakes?
Winter and summer.
Winter and summer. If you really look at that, whoever designed that really thought it through. What they did was they minimized the footprint of the dam, but they wanted to have a full lake. So they built a very small dam with a nice drop inlet down by the road there. And then upstream, they actually put in what I would call more of a weir, so that the dam could go, so that they could have water surfaces all the way back. If they were to have a dam that went that controlled that entire lake, that dam would have to be very high, would have to control a significant area. So they really thought that through. As I look at the dams, the 3 dams are in very good shape, including the inlets, all those kinds of things. They keep the backside of the dam has been very well maintained. I don't think there's any issues there. On what I'm calling the weir for autumn, the autumn lake?
Winter, summer.
Winter Lake, would be more akin to kind of a farm pond. There's literally tens of thousands of those built across Missouri, and I would say hundreds of thousands across the United States, all built in that same manner. And what you get is, you're gonna get water that flows over the top of that. Obviously, that's the way it's designed. But what happens there, we're lucky they put in concrete. Most of the time that's grass spillway. We have a nice concrete spillway. But what happens is that water sits on there in the wintertime and freezes and thaws, and you get that spalling. So right now, on the top of that dam, you have that spalling going on, and that concrete has been eroded away. So you have a minor maintenance issue there that you need to take care of. And then as the water pours over, especially as you get these big storms coming through, it has a tendency to push back the what they call the stilling basin at the bottom. There's a layer of rock at the bottom as the water comes over, it hits that stilling basin, and it's pushed some of that back. That rock needs to be pulled back to maintain that spillway. But really, That's the only thing that I see is, when I went around and took a look at those. Now, my caveat is I haven't looked at the original design, or I haven't looked at any maintenance reports on those. It was all me just walking and taking a look at the dams. And I do that, usually, just for my own entertainment, once a year, once every 6 months or so, I just take a look. But generally, very, very good. Maintenance on that.
United States, crazy number, I'm sure.
When you look at, but as I said, that dam, that rear, there's that same design. You use. At least. Well, it's been used hundreds. I spent most of my career really working on, well, I've inspected a lot of smaller units, mostly working on large size, like a Hoover Dam size dams, right? So, you probably all know, I was the chief of engineering out in the Northwest United States, so there's, Bonneville Dam, that was one of mine, and then, Chief Joseph or Dvorak, those kinds of dams. So but concepts are all the same.
I can't thank you enough for coming up, and you don't have to stay if you don't want to. I thank you for coming up and kind of explaining that, because that is out of my realm, and you did a good job explaining that, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, that in maintenance then.
Well, we've removed some trees, dead trees, over to,
Well, we got a list.
we've got a list of trees
Trees.
down. We responded to a tree top that broke out.
And then we had a tree across
East Vista and Terra.
there, yeah.
There was another one back on
A trail crest.
Real Crest.
Block.
So we're trying to take care of the things that will cause problems later on. We're careful when we take the trees down, and there's some dead trees along
Plantation.
Plantation Drive that we were looking at, but they're a little bit too tall for me to feel comfortable in dropping them. I've had a bit of experience in dropping trees and making them go where I want them. But if they're that close to the power lines, I'm not going to risk having any issues with bringing them down. So we will continue to look around for trees that have the potential for blocking the road. That's the main thing that we're looking at. And we do have a lot of dead trees in this area.
A lot of ash trees that are
A
gonna.
lot of ash trees, a lot of elm trees, and both of those have suffered from various blights. All right, old business. We have a number of ballot items that we're going to vote on. All of the ballot items that were turned in were not approved for continuing to go forward. The first one is to allow ATV and UTV properly registered in Missouri to operate within Raintree with the same requirements that are currently in place for the golf carts. Second, remove buses voted on last year and wasn't approved, so we're just going to take that out. ACC rule change to allow boat docks to be presented with a total square footage as opposed to length and width requirements. Modify section A2A to indicate a single party responsible for all deposits and refunds. Currently, we have owners, we have builders, we have a mishmash of things. So we're just going to have one individual that will be responsible for all. We would like to increase, well, we want to increase the homeowner assessments by $100 per year and lot owners $50 per year. Interim board seats that are filled following a board member leaving prior to the end of a term will be for the duration of the resigning member. So if a board member that is on a 3-year term resigns after 1 year, the person who's elected for that position would have the remaining 2 years of that term. That's an effort to try to keep some continuity to the board and not having the board have drastic changes in members every year. When you replace 6 or 7 individuals, that makes it very difficult to maintain things. Allow lot owners to build an ACC approved concrete or asphalt driveway, a detached garage within the current requirements of ACC specifications, a concrete patio or fire pit on a lot. Parking a currently registered passenger vehicle boat trailer. This is in an effort to allow the lot owners a little bit more use out of their lots. Increase the lot assessment from $237 to $330 for a partially improved lot, which will be attached to the one above. Increase square footage for a detached garage footprint from the current 900 square feet to 1,200 square feet. List an AACC road damage directly in front of a new house build is the responsibility of the contractor / homeowner. And add a $10,000 surcharge for any spec home being built within Raintree to help cover the road costs. A spec home defined as a home being built to specifications not directed by the owner that will reside in the home. I move that we approve these to move forward with the ballot items.
I second that.
Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any additional old business? New business? Before we move on, some of these board items are still being reviewed by the lawyer. They get paid by the hour, so it takes them a while to do things. So some of this may not show up on the ballot. If it doesn't, then that's one of the reasons that it didn't.
I got an email from Mindy at CPL stating that the letter it went to the printer on June the 10th and will be mailed out to all owners regarding the open for the general meeting and to send me your resume if you want to run for the board.
And there are 4 open board positions this coming, to be voted on this coming September.
There's 3 for 3-year terms and 1 for 1-year term.
1-year term. So if you're interested in having a target painted on your back, put your resume in. And good luck to you.
When's the deadline for that? To submit your resumes?
It's gotta be by the letter in July.
Yeah.
No later than July 13th. Okay.
Just shy of a month right now.
And if you want to run for the boards, you must be current in all your assessments and paid your censures if you had any of those. We have run a list of individuals who are behind in their assessments. It is a very long list, unfortunately. We're working to try to motivate those individuals to be compliant with the requirements to live in Range Ridge. Under new business, is Kent still on?
He is.
Okay. Kent, you can go ahead and talk about yours if you want.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said it's under new business and you have a new business proposal. So if you want to go ahead and express that and we can vote on it.
Is that about the signage?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying that I think we should, I don't know that it has to be a board decision, but it can be. I just think if we're getting new signs down at the boat ramp and other places, I think we should add to it that there are restrictions or that wave, I don't know the difference between wave surfing. I think wave surfing and plowing and using the use of ballast or any other manner to create more waves is prohibited by our covenants or bylaws. And I think we need to make people aware of that. I also think that we should add something that says, you know, if the red flag is flying, that it's no wake, because while I haven't seen it, I've been told by people that, hey, there's people wave surfing and there are people plowing, and that's tearing up our lake and the people's property. And unless people read the covenants and bylaws, they're not going to know that. And so I think it just makes more sense to make people aware.
Okay, we can add a sign indicating that yeah, wakeboarding.
They can do.
Well, I think people, and I don't know, you have to find out the definitions. I think wakeboarding means it's just like water skiing. You can be on a wakeboard if you're on a 75-foot rope or something like that, but you can't wake surf because that requires the boat to make a large enough wake for you to ride. I don't know enough about it, obviously, but to ride, and that is prohibited, and so is plowing. It's in our covenants. Plowing is prohibited, and I think the use of ballast or any other manner to increase your wake is prohibited. I think we need to make people aware of that.
Okay.
Ballast is definitely
That's a good idea.
not legal.
I think they're all, if you read the covenant,
Yes, they are listed in the covenants. You seem to be breaking up.
He froze.
or the covenants or the bylaws, I'm sorry, it's typically you can't do those. Then how would they know?
Right, so we will put additional signage down there to make people aware.
If
Are we losing him or is it just getting glitchy?
It's just getting glitchy.
There's one boat in particular that may be using ballast that I think we may have to stop and check. There's one in
tell somebody, hey, you put a sign that you have a much better, you position yourself.
And he's gone. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you broke up a little bit, so we're gonna move forward with the sign.
Tell me you agree.
Yeah.
Idea.
Yep, good idea.
And what about red flags too? What the meaning of a red flag is?
Whenever the, like we talked about, whenever the steel grate not showing, the lake will be a no wake. Whenever the steel grate showing, the lake will be open.
No, I'm saying there's people who don't know what a red flag means.
Oh,
They don't know to look for it. I think we should put it on the same sign.
yes, sir.
Yep.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
So Autumn Lake seems like it's big, but when you get several boats out there, especially throwing a big wake, it creates a lot of problems for the people that live on the lake. It also creates potential damage to the dam. We have to put riprap in there to mitigate that. So if you really want to wake surf, probably Lake of the Ozarks or Table Rock Lake would be a much better choice.
And you can pretty much tell when the wave completely is a lot deeper in the water. You know, whenever someone's running their valves, and too, if you watch their boat may have a water line or a color that shows, but when they fill their ballast, that boat sits another half foot in the water. And it creates a very deep wave that rolls even slower, but it is very destructive, and you can tell when someone has the ballast fill. I personally am only witnessing one out there that I think is actually breaking the rule. Most of them not breaking that rule to my knowledge.
So again, help us by paying attention, watching, and if you see something that looks questionable, we would like to know about it. I know everybody's not happy with all the ballot items. If you don't like them, you can vote against them. I guess that's about all I'm gonna say on it. Any other new business?
Whoa.
All right,
The only other thing I got is our miniature track code is getting almost a full
John, it's just
on the
two person
100 and that should be back Wednesday.
We don't want to take a shower.
it's a very important piece of equipment for a lot of the things that we run into here in
Now,
Raymond.
we can't run a lot of places.
Wow.
That's all I got.
There's nothing else. This meeting is adjourned. Open forum is now open. I will remind everybody that you have 2 minutes
Need motion.
and,
Motion to adjourn.
oh, I'm sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Mary Lou, for keeping me honest. Now the meeting is adjourned. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I give Joe a copy of the memorandum?
Is it too hot for you, Grandpa?
Why? Yes, ma'am.
Can we have everyone give their name, Nancy Gal, give their name, so we all know who's talking when they say blah, blah, blah.
Okay. The lady with the cast.
Tilly, Winchester, I just have a question, just clarification, with, summer coming on. What is the rule on the parkways? I know people can walk around the lakes and do that. If you have a boathouse, are they at work, or a kid gets hurt on your property, is it my responsibility? If they were goofing around, walking through, fishing, goofing off around my boathouse saying they're fishing, but they get hurt,
We'll cross that.
where does that go?
Yeah,
Who's
good.
responsible?
We'll cross
A
that.
good question for the attorney. I don't have that.
I was gonna say, I don't play an attorney on television, one in real life. As a rule, they should only be walking. They should not loiter, stop on your boat dock. They shouldn't be on your boat dock. They should be walking around it and fishing in the open areas primarily. As far as I understand it, they're not allowed to be on your boat slip, especially if it's improved. You have a boat dock and a house and so.
So if that's the case, because I have that, they would walk around it to go.
They
to
should
the
walk
next-
around it and go on to another place where it is not developed and they can fish from there.
But if they're out there swimming and stuff like that, it's one thing, but being on their docks, taking their kayaks and sliding off like a sled.
No, they
Yes,
should not be
I'm
doing that.
concerned that somebody gets.
This is their. This is also. I already watched that with their mom. Yeah. I watched. Well, but you haven't watched it since I just.
When you mentioned the announcement about 4 positions being available, what form, how's that going out to everyone?
I'm under the impression it's gonna go out US mail.
Okay.
Could I
ask
also, you might also get it by email, but since everybody's email.
that we quickly get it out by email, because we are in a short time frame of the resumes being due. So that we can all wait for our US mail, but also get the notice that, hey, there's 4 positions.
When CPM sends out the email,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go out, CPM
They
and
do it
mail,
one after the
and
other.
the little,
Both
I don't remember the guy that they talk,
Dan,
Stan.
it'll all go out
He's
together
on
as soon
YouTube.
as she gets it ready.
Will it go out soon is what I'm asking, because what are we, 4 weeks?
She said when it was, I don't recall.
It should have already gone out.
Yeah.
I will check tomorrow again because I've already told them that it needed to go out.
Thank you.
Yeah. July 13 was the date you gotta get your resumes in, wasn't it?
Yeah. Gentleman besides Tilly, and then I'll go to the back and then the other.
That'd be
Yes,
Joe McFine. I have a question relevant to last month's budget financial report. There's a $7,500 workman's comp payment there. Can you explain what that is?
We decided to keep it because it was so cheap
Yeah.
for once again, employees. Because we don't want to start over, it's real high.
I didn't hear what he said.
we're keeping it in case we decide to come back with a full maintenance group at the end of the year.
That's the third explanation I've heard of that since I asked about it. So my concerns are we're not getting the truth here. I talked to two different board members, got 2 different statements from it.
What's the other statements you got?
The one was that the attorneys wanted you to keep it because of, we may have some employees who are not 1099 covered under the workman's comp.
Who did you get that from?
The other one that was that we are in the midst of an audit under workman's
Yeah.
comp.
I said the audit and I was wrong.
Okay.
We are in the midst of an audit, but it didn't have to do with that.
The reason I'm asking is because workman's comp does not apply to a 1099
We
employee.
know that.
We're aware.
We know that.
And we have no employees that we're supposed to have on the books.
Not yet.
Okay, then we're paying $7,500 for something that we don't have. Now, I did some research, and yes, it does apply to if the board hires somebody, a company, to do work in here, and they are not insured, our workman's comp would cover them. If we charged them a percentage in their report, and their bill.
So in the bid, you'd have to charge a percentage for.
You don't have to, but you should to recover your costs.
Copy.
That's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the board, if you guys, CPM told me, I talked to them, they said that they have a program in place where if you do a contract with Smith's Law and they come in and file their paperwork to do this job, that part of their curriculum is that they have to prove they have insurance and workman's comp. If they don't have, then they notify the board, you guys, that they don't have insurance and they recommend that we do not use that company.
Right.
Right. I think that's part of their requirements in getting paid. They have to get those letters.
But there's a stipulation to that, and that's what they told me, okay? Was that a percentage of that cost could be recovered by adding it to the cost of doing business with them.
Okay, we're well over our 2 minutes time limit, so we'll come back to you if you have additional.
Well, it's a conversation that needs to be had. It takes
We'll come back to you if we have to.
To do that.
Yes, in the back.
John Irvin, what's the cost of the repair on Beach Street and how much space is that? I haven't seen it or been
So
over.
the culverts is approximately $6,400. I have to look if that was including tax or not. That was for 40 feet, 5 8-foot sticks of 4-foot concrete culverts. The gravel would be the next expense. So approximately 10,000 in material and approximately 10,000 in labor.
Okay. And how much do they have to repair at that repair?
It's gonna be a full road repair. It's from one side to the other.
No, I mean, like, up and down Peachtree. Like, just 10 feet wide?
I would think it would be as minimal as it is, but until they get it dug in, that cave in was pretty substantial.
That's okay. I mean, that galvanized that was in there, was that original, or has that been replaced once before?
We don't know.
I don't have that information. Most of those culverts will last approximately 25 years. On the galvanized, depending on how they're laid in, if they're laid in properly, they're supposed to have a 1 foot of 1 inch minus all the way around that. So it also depends on how the creek sits and the bedrock. There's some variables there. On the life expectancy, depending on if it's sitting in saturated water or not.
Do we know how many more are potentially vulnerable at this point that could be original? Because it's probably original, right?
So, in reality, this is a reality check that there will be more and many over our lifetimes. The concrete is a little over twice as much, maybe 2.5 times as much. But if we get 80 to 100 years out of this, it's safer. That's where we're going with it, unless there's issues with them.
I'll be over
Okay.
20 or 25 years, so I don't care.
So,
There was somebody in the back.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Megan McKenzie. We just recently purchased property in Braintree, so we're super happy to be here. Thank you, thank you. Whenever we first bought the property, we were talking to the office. They said that wakeboarding was allowed, but then I see in the new business that it's potentially gonna be taken off. And we just wanted to state that like skiing and wakeboarding causes the same weight, and so if it's gonna be taken off, that would be unfortunate. Because I do agree with the ballast with the it causing a higher weight.
There is already a rule that the ballast cannot have any water in it.
But you can wakeboard.
But you can wakeboard.
You can
It
wake,
just said on the new business, it specifically states wakeboarding, wake surfing.
That was a
mistake.
miscommunication.
Hear it, because that was like one of our reasons we came here. And then the other one is, I don't think we really talked about it today, but side by sides. I know golf carts are allowed, but a lot of side by sides are similar size to golf carts. And if you create like sticker permits that can have a revenue increase, and if there's strict guidelines of not being able to go on the golf course, and there's you know, you can.
If it passes, the ATVs and side by sides would not be under the same rules as the golf carts. And it'd be under the same speed limits as golf carts and cars are.
Yeah.
But so far it has not passed, so you can't use them yet.
Yeah, just because they're allowed on Hillsborough roads and it would help with plowing snow and all that stuff, so.
Vote your opinion.
Vote, is that a yay or nay?
They're not,
This is my first board meeting,
I'm
so.
they're not knocking you. There's just, everybody's gonna have a different opinion on it. It would have to be strict rules.
That will
Have to be
come,
strict rules on it.
that will come, you will vote on it in the annual meeting in September.
Okay,
Until then, you can't.
okay,
Okay, your time's up. I'll come back to you if you have more.
I'm good, thanks.
I don't know which one of you were first.
Mike was,
Okay. Mike, go ahead.
what's up?
Mike Camden, a couple questions on the cash disbursement document. There's 3 entries for South Data. Looks like office supplies and postage. And who is that, what's that for specifically?
I do not know. I do not know.
CPM is charging us for food supplies.
Oh, it's through PPM?
Yeah.
CPM?
Yes.
South Data?
South Data is the camera system, is that right, Dave?
Basin Network should be the cameras.
Okay,
South Data,
is that for the gates then?
I think that is for the gates.
Yeah, the South, could you speak up again?
South Data should be for the gates and the Basin Network should be for the cameras.
South Data would be the cars, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
So not.
No, that's.
That one
our-
will not be, that would be ours. Yeah.
So office supplies and postage was $42,000, that was per card.
DPM.
Ask them.
It's South Data.
Oh, South Data is for the games.
A car.
So they ordered some of the gate cards, those frequency cat cards.
Okay.
Cause we had none.
And the newer cards are less likely to be copied.
Good. And then the other one was, you mentioned it, Devereaux and Company. What is that? Why isn't that CPM doing the accounting for that?
That was Deb Anderson's bill.
That was from the previous board.
That's an old bill.
That's an old bill.
Wow, okay.
Gentleman and a half.
When are our assessments due?
July 1st.
I have not received the bill. Has anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you?
I have-
We only got it yesterday. Yeah.
The notification, when you log in, you can see upcoming.
Yeah.
I understand your concern, but again, we're dealing with CPM and that's the way that
So you're
they,
not mailing, that's what I'm saying.
I think they are going to mail them.
My God, you can go and mail them, it's the 16th of June. I know, okay,
We
Sorry.
didn't harm.
gotcha. They need to go.
Yes. Tilly,
I'm Linda,
I'm sorry.
sorry. We look alike.
No, you don't look alike. I'm sorry. That was just the first name that came to mind.
The proposed ballot item that had to do with when you fill a seat. That they maintain how many term years that they need to do continuity, totally get that. Clarify something for me. That's the only time when a seat is filled that the community doesn't vote on that, is that true?
That is correct.
So every other time, the board members are voted in.
Yeah.
Except for when there's a replacement. Okay, so now my question is, could the ballot item include, could a thought of, if someone does replace and there's 2 more years or whatever, could they be put on the ballot for the upcoming election that says so-and-so, place so-and-so, there's 2 more years to serve, you know, vote in kind of thing.
So that how it is.
Yeah.
Giving the.
Let me look into it and see what I
It's
can
just a
come up.
thought so that everyone is voted in by all owners.
Understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But then
Yes, ma'am.
you could come up with the same situation.
Well,
That person doesn't
that's
realize-
one of the things that we'll have to look at, but Nancy, yes. Okay, there was a Nancy back there. I'm gonna quit calling names. I'm just gonna point.
I'm wondering about the logic behind your decision to mark a spot on Ridgecrest in front of 9765 Ridgecrest. In pink to cut the road out, there is a patch in the middle of that was done by the owner of 9765. Because when he built the house across the street, his subcontractors backed up into his yard, put a dent in the yard and a hole in the road, and broke up all the content. He did pay for a little patch, but he didn't fix the problem, because now we're going to pay for it. And I was sitting in my car and watching this whole thing happen. I saw Steve Ortman Concrete back their truck right up into his yard, take a big ditch out of it, and then just drive off and never even got out to stamp the dirt down. So I'm wondering about the logic of that.
If anybody sees something like that from a contractor, please get the picture. If you see them working, a before picture when they start construction and an after picture ain't a bad idea either, because
But not about it, because you made him pay for it.
Oh, the owner made him pay for it?
No, Rachel made him pay to fix that hole. he fixed the asphalt there, but he only did a little round hole rather than the entire spot around.
Steve Ortman.
Steve Orton. Will do. And he knows it because I talked to him about it. I told him I was sitting in my car. He said he was mad because he had to pay for it. And I said, well, I was sitting in my car and I saw it happen. I can tell you it was Steve Ortman contracting. And he said, well, he was mad about paying for it. And I'm like, well, you know, now we're having to pay for it.
Okay, lady with the glasses.
This is for Cal. Cal, I was wondering, when you do your comparison between quarters, would it be possible to maybe have CPM generate reports similar to the profit and loss? I think it would be a lot easier to follow. You could follow each of the income categories, income and expense categories, and really be able to see where we are compared to a prior period.
You want more
More detail.
breakout or whatever?
Profit and loss. If you could compare the periods that way, for me, it would be much easier.
I'll ask them if they'll charge us for that.
We kind of have to be careful what we ask for.
They do like the charge.
Well, the other option you could do is use the information and just dump it into Excel. Just, you know, get the P&L in Excel and put those numbers in month to month or quarter to quarter. I mean, I'm not trying to do it myself for a low out, but you know,
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Would somebody have a hand raised back here? No. In the back?
Again, John Irvin again. Ballot items, you read them off. How many was that?
11.
But it's gonna be,
How many got presented to the lawyer, right? They went to the lawyer first and then came back, or they haven't gone to the lawyer? Did I-
Most of them have gone to the lawyer. The lawyer hasn't gotten back on all of them.
Were there ones that were already kicked out? How many did we get total?
We had 15.
Okay, so 4 of them just got automatically kicked out.
Well, we kicked one out, which was an assessment for replacing the little dam across Winter Lake with full concrete. Since we didn't have a cost on that, putting out an assessment didn't make much sense at this point. One of the others was lowering the assessment on the forest lots. And we didn't agree with that because the forest lots have more acreage, so they have more road frontage. I have several lots and I pay more than people in the forest do. So we just didn't see that as being something that should go out.
So, thank you. Okay, good answer.
In the back.
I don't know if this is the proper place to ask this question, but my husband, and I think he spoke with Dave about it. We have some concerns about the water flowing across the road. We're on West Vista. And I just didn't know the time frame for somebody to actually come look at the problem.
So Adam Kreitz did a lot of work on his lot across from Dave Wooldridge's house. And they're saying that it's created issues with water dumping into her yard.
We have like an 8 or 9 foot tie wall that holds our yard, that where the culvert goes down under the street. But the water's coming across the road and you can see where it's eroding out a railroad tie that we have for parking on the street. And we keep putting dirt next to the railroad ties and it just keeps all washing out.
Can you take a look at that?
Yeah.
Dave will take a look at it, hopefully within the week.
Yeah,
Okay, well, unfortunately, my husband's out of town until Sunday, but I will be there.
and I'll be out of town next week,
Okay, okay.
starting Friday.
Turnaround time, because he did get acknowledgement that you received it, and we're just concerned about a huge tie wall falling over.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
I have 2 comments and a question. Now, so I don't have a problem with CPM. And I've
the way I gathered the board does. But my first comment, if the board can't maintain the roads, maintain all the lakes, dams, what makes the board think they can handle the office and the assessments? Okay, and my second comment, I agree with Joe on one aspect of Summer Lake Dam. It's more like a pond. But you cannot make me believe that it was built for millions of gallons of water to go over that earth dam. And I will continue to fight. Whether you guys believe me, believe it or not, I will continue to push for a new spillway on Summer Lake Dam. And with that being said, you guys got any plans for Forest Drive potholes?
Not this year.
So it's, as we can get around, we can't do everything at one time. We just don't have the funds to do it.
Okay.
And I thought that someone had also wanted Forest Drive dues lowered. Forest Drive is an expensive road to maintain per number of houses on it.
That's one way of looking at it.
Our goal would be to fix it all, but we also need everybody's help eventually to do this as well.
Can I make one more comment?
Mhm.
Well, when you guys got on the board, you had a sign out here, red sign, vote no for everything. And that's why you guys don't have the money. And if you continue it, eventually, well, just,
Do you think we should do a special assessment?
Huh?
Do you think we should do a special assessment?
well, not with the attitude of this board, probably not.
Okay, time's up.
All
Yes, ma'am.
CPM, new learning curve, whatever, both sides, I'm sure. So I have no clue, so I'm asking. Did they know when the new assessment letter needed?
Yes.
So their contract, or you all said, hey, we need that to go out by, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I heard some people in here say they got theirs. I don't think we have yet. So the other piece of that is, of course, US mail is inconsistent. We all know that, right? It can take a long time. But the other piece about CPM, and I don't know if it get clarified tonight or another time, I think there's some misunderstanding in the community what we are counting on CPM to do. I say that because I've seen in social media that when the gates go down or whatever, somebody comes back and go, well, there's that CPM, why aren't they taking care of it? So obviously our gates is not CPM's responsibility, correct?
That is, well, CPM would take care of it at $65 an hour
Right.
plus travel
Right,
time.
So
So we're taking care of it with volunteers. I replace gates. Scott replaces gates. All of us replace gates.
I just want it clear that people know that I think the CPM, the property management part, people see property and think, oh, security gates down, that's our new company that's not.
They tell us.
So that was one, another was, road damage.
Okay, let me clarify. When you put an incident report in, CPM alerts us. We know the problem and we go take care of the problem. Just like the tree trimming is put in through CPM. So CPM is basically just a conduit to tell us what's wrong.
Communication.
Yes.
It's a communication path. It's not their responsibility to take care of it. And I think some people believe it is. That they're going, okay, that company's not doing well for us, and they have nothing to do with fixing the gate or fixing the road. They're just, like you said, a reporting avenue. Thank you.
I just have one question, one of the ballot items said $100 extra a year.
Yes.
An increase, do we have a plan, like how much that's gonna be generating and where's that money gonna go? I mean, is that gonna be in the ballot item so people would?
We would not have a better idea after the assessments come in. So I can't tell you at this point, but we can give an estimate on what it would be.
Can I say one thing? Can I say
Go
one
ahead.
thing? So
Yep.
one thing on the roads, so if we pass this $10,000 construction bond, and all these people building these houses in our subdivision, we'll get $10,000 for each house. That's gonna make revenue, and that will go to the roads and nowhere but to the roads. And so these people come and build, they buy county a lot for taxes, they build a $400,000 house. Why don't they go over to Hawks Point or somewhere else and build a house and try to get 400,000? Because we've got a lake, we've got golf courts. If they can't build that $10,000 into their $400,000 house, they don't need to be building houses in our subdivision. They're tearing up our roads. Every week I get a complaint, dump trucks. All I hear is dump trucks. And so now we're gonna put an end to it. Let's make them pay 10,000. The other board wanted to charge you when we sold our house. Let's charge them when they come. But if you own a lot and he's building it for you, just a normal charge, no $10,000. You have to live in it for a year. But if he's building a spec house and he don't have somebody that owns that lot, I think he should pay $10,000 for our roads. And every penny will go to the roads, nowhere else but the roads.
Okay. Gentleman in the back.
I got a question. So we're talking about raising assessments and voting on it, and we're talking about road conditions and stuff. What is our total of non-compliance assessments? How much would that cover? You wanna raise mine, but I pay every year. You wanna raise mine, but you got probably how much in back to assessment?
I don't have a number for you.
Well, it's fairly high, right?
It
It's
is
just
high.
that you thought.
300,000.
Yeah.
That is fix the road, wouldn't it? But you wanna raise my money because you know I'll pay.
Well, do you have a solution of getting this money
No.
from these people that don't pay?
I mean, the only one is to put, lien on their house.
We do.
Do the legal
We
shit.
have multiple liens on their house.
Multiple houses
And we do occasionally get money in from the liens,
when they sell it.
but they have to sell their house to get the money.
Right.
And a lot of them, they don't care whether their credit's no good.
No, I get it, but it's just, you hear $100 a year, and I'm like, okay, cause I paid my, I'm gonna be suffering because of that.
Yeah,
Should we make it?
me too.
And so far, I've been here 5 years, I guess, and I like this board. I'll tell you, I think you guys do a decent job. There's things that need to be repaired, but nobody's perfect. You guys probably work as hard as you can, doing this on your own side time, so I want to tell you thank you. I know you guys take the beating.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'll guarantee I'm not perfect.
No,
John's up.
Can I just add?
John,
I will probably close this meeting down right now, but Scott, on the back of the no sign, is there a yes that you're gonna turn it around here?
Nope, I ain't going any way.
okay, no,
Let's get out of
lady
here.
in the back.
I just went to, I think last board meeting, I told you how much I love Stan. I really like the communication that came 30 minutes before the board meeting last month. I don't think I got it this month, but I actually remembered to come up here. But who uses Stan, who sends the notes?
CPM.
So, and we have to pay CPM to send those out?
It's our contract.
Yeah, it's rolled up
It's
into our
part of the
service.
contract, yeah, it's part of the, whatever we pay per month.
Can we ask them, like, when the red flag is out and the no wake, to send those out to our tech?
They can do that, yeah.
We can do it.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
if there's other immediate things we need to know about,
That's the actual design and discussion that we had, like inclement weather in the winter.
They sent Peachtree out.
As it happens.
new deadline, those are like great ways to get that info out immediately. So I really like seeing. It really communicates.
well, I have asked them to send it out, so we'll follow up.
It does really help in the neighborhood because we go to our streets and we talk about, hey, Stan just sent you this. And it does create conversation.
Okay,
That's why I love him. You love Stan. I love.
I'm not sure which one of you were first. I'll pick.
Mine's really quick. The tree trimming, is that just for dead trees?
No.
No, okay.
Hanging over blind spots anywhere that's on common ground, not on private property.
And we do that on an incident report?
Yes, ma'am. Here you go. We got 40 of them and he's got about half of them done. Cool.
Not
Get
on
them in
private
here.
property, just this, but yeah.
We got
see it.
people willing to.
Yes, ma'am.
Two things, what he was saying about delinquent assessments or people that don't pay. I know there was a process in place that Willet was following either last year or the year before that did bring more money in. I don't know what that process was, but it was.
The process is still going, and as I said, we have gotten money in. We haven't got a ton of money in. Because the people that are delinquent on the assessments, if you have a lien on their property, you only get the money when they sell.
Right, it wasn't a lien process, it was some other thing. I mean,
Well-
there's two different processes, but. Because Willet would.
Collection agencies and reporting them to credit bureaus, we're doing a lot of that.
Regarding Stan, process question. You all ask CPM, send out to Stan about this, or do they create, and go, oh, we should put who directs
A
them?
little bit of both.
Okay, they have like certain knowledge of things, upcoming meetings, please just put something out, right, because they know our schedule, like I said.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. You kind of went over it quickly, so I may have some of the wording wrong, but you talked about some of the upcoming ballot items. And you referred to maybe adding some different things for property owners. I guess that's our lot owners, I'm sorry, for lot owners, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, but they have the same amenities that we have, right? They can go to the beach, they can, go fishing, they can swim in the lakes, they can put a boat in, ride a golf cart, right? I mean,
That's
they're all
correct.
the same,
As long as they pay their assessment.
as long as they pay their assessments. Why do they get to pay less money then? So, versus a property owner? We own our property, we live here full time, but they still can do all the same things that everyone else can do.
So if you're asking why, and I'm just gonna go back to some old numbers, let's just say a lot is 230 and a house is 370. Those aren't the exact numbers. The people that do live here do utilize this place a whole lot more than someone that doesn't. Now, if they would pay it, that would be ideal if everybody paid the same and contributed a more money. But we've also figured out that we've lost a lot of lot owners over several $100s. So you can only raise the lot owners so much, and they start falling off and quit paying. And that,
Against the property.
They're not worth nothing.
but then it goes back to the same problem
Yeah.
that you get to a certain point and they don't want to pay it, and it goes to the county and it's back, then you get nothing for it. So getting the several $100 from them, and would love to see it be at 300, it would be nice to see it 500, but I don't think that you can raise it to 500 and keep them paying. Because there is a certain point that we've seen a lot of people that is like, I'm done. The fees are getting too high for me to become used what I intended it for. So there is some gray area there where you want to still entice them to use the place and pay, but there is a certain amount that is gonna push them away as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Nancy. Would you please read that one ballot item again about the lot owners? I wrote down patios, concrete drives. Did you also say fire pits? Concrete
Yes.
fire pits? That's what I thought you said.
You don't hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. So it's number 7. Allow lot owners to build an ACC approved concrete or asphalt driveway. A garage, in parentheses, detached garage, which would be required to conform to current ACC specification. Concrete patio and fire pit on a lot. Parking of current registered passenger vehicle, boat trailer, and RV camper would be allowed. So the ACC, I believe, to build a detached garage is either a double lot or more, I think.
It's a
I have to
double.
go back and look at it.
It's a double.
Because you couldn't allow them to do this on a single lot. And also the ACC would have to force that detached garage to be to one side of the double lot, because you would still have to have that opportunity to build a residence there someday. So you can't allow it on a single lot, or you're just gonna see a bunch of garages. So there, if somebody had 2 lots, you still couldn't have a bathroom, you couldn't have that. But again, we're not trying to steer anybody here to vote anyway. We want everybody to vote how they would vote. We're not here to steer you. this is your place, you know? So go with your gut, just read them, let's vote how you all want to vote, you know, this is you guys' subject.
The logic behind it was to try to encourage people to be able to utilize their lots more instead of just having a piece of ground sitting there. Lady in the back.
Well, all it is that the board gets these ballot item suggestions and they're not the ones creating them. So they get these suggestions and they put it out there for us to vote. So it's not the board sitting there making their agenda and making up these ballots and stuff like that. It's more if somebody's giving it to you, you get
These are
try to see if
suggestions from
it's
people,
legal.
residents.
Yeah, and you see if it's legally, you can do it and then we vote.
Yes.
I just wanna say something about those lots. Have you ever been to Goose Creek? That's what we're gonna end up with. We're gonna have people parking junk. Yeah. That's gonna happen. If that happens, you people. You're pushing it through to the Lord, and before you, there was a couple ballot items that you didn't approve. I mean, if you approve that, it's gonna be the downfall.
Well,
This
again,
place is gonna be trash.
we want everybody to vote how you feel.
I understand.
And
Yeah,
then-
but I will be on.
Yeah.
I'll be making my opinion, so.
Okay. Yes.
Dean?
You,
Okay, Dave, I got a question on that. I own 6 lots. My house is in between. I got a lot on the right, a lot on the left, a couple lots behind me. Where can I build this driveway?
I mean, that's up to the ACC and you to work through. I mean, this is new to me too. I don't know as far as, are you asking as far as putting a detached garage?
No,
on your-
I've got a 3-car garage. I don't need that. But I like to have a parking spot, concrete driveway like you're talking. So when I have gas, I'm not gonna need, and I don't have to go to the house, okay? So there wouldn't be derelict cars.
So I would have to read through our current rules, and then if this was to pass, of course, that would be a new set of rules as far as, you know, that would have to be reviewed with Ken and ACC, and,
this is only for lots that are completely undeveloped. If you have a house, that's different.
No, I have a house, but I have lots on each side that are undeveloped.
If you have combined all your lots,
I have.
then
Anything you want.
put your proposal to ACC.
It's a lot now.
You could put a driveway in, you can put a detached garage. You don't have the same restrictions as an undeveloped lot.
Since I've co-signed all my lots together, I can still do that now.
I believe you could do a detached, if that's what you wanna do, or driveway with concrete.
Well, I just parking for visitors.
That shouldn't be a problem. You just have to put your proposal to the ACC.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
I have to agree with Joe.
Well,
If the lot owners or what can build, concrete driveways, patios, it might be a place, just for collection, junk. That's where they're gonna put their junk cars, junk boats, and we've already got enough trash in here. Back when I moved in, you had to keep your trash cans in the garage. That's no more. And you can drive around, you get to Press Drive, there's a house, the Venetian blinds are broken. At nighttime, I think he's got toolboxes in his bedroom. And you've got several homes around here that got crap. They got trash cans laying around, just junk laying around the house, needs to be cleaned up. So this place is turning into a piece of trash. If you're not careful, it's gonna continue. So I just suggest that everybody keep your places up, pick your stuff up.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not, anyway.
In the back.
This is for the lakes and beaches. I know you said that, you looked at the lakes and they're in good shape. I do know that I have more algae in my cove this year than I had last year. I've only been here a couple of years, but I do have more. And, I know you're looking into alternatives to be more healthy with the lakes or natural. but do you have any kind of a timeline? Because I think the last meeting you said you were looking at things. So is there like a timeline of when you might go, what direction you're gonna go with the lakes?
I don't have a defined timeline for you yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Scott, when's the next treatment? You said that is it like once a month?
Well, no, it ain't once a month. It's whenever it's gonna be needed. And I'll have to have them come and look. I think it depends on the rain and everybody's putting fertilizer in the yard and then it takes off. So yeah, there'll be another one, but we don't know when.
May have to throw my mallet at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
You,
I was question about, boat stickers, boats that are in the slips and on the lake all the time. Does anybody ever check those boats for current stickers and registration?
So the ones using the lake. Has there been some, have you noticed some that are not?
I haven't put my sticker on yet, but my boat has not left my slip.
But you did buy one.
I got one.
Yeah.
If it's on the lake, it's supposed to have it, so you understand whether they're using it or not.
Yeah, I'll put it on there. I'm
I've seen at
guilty.
least 4 on Spring Lake. Without current stickers, last time I was over there, a couple of them got straight.
If you wanna give us a list, that may help, if you see it, I know I'm not saying it's your job, but I'm just saying.
Turn it in.
Probably nobody's job, but if any, as working together as a community, if there's something that you want us to address. You can give us a list and we'll attempt to address it.
and put it in through the incident report. That way we can track it.
I just had, just.
Wait.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anymore at the town hall meeting, you thought you were gonna have a CPM drive through and start writing up some of these incident reports, I'm scared of the cars that are sitting there that are broke down.
I have not seen anything from them about that, but yes, that discussion
I-
was had.
I talked, yeah, I talked to Amy about it and she's supposed to be initiating that and I will follow up with her.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna, on, Mike's little comment about boat. I know that I've seen a couple boats on Spring Lake that have no sticker whatsoever. So how do we just take a picture of it? Or, I mean, how do we find out who it belongs to or, you know?
Vehicle that.
They have
If you could
nothing-
take a picture of it and put it in and
Put an
include
address
that
with
in the, and the address if you have it. And put it in the incident report, then we'll try to follow.
Cause there's no sticker.
Yeah. Yes.
To tag onto the incident report thing, I do remember at the last meeting, someone asked, is it anonymous? Right? And we have found it's not, because someone did make an incident. And then someone got after that person for telling on that person, so FYI, it's not anonymous, so.
Right, and I guess we should, I don't know if it's ever been anonymous.
It's not.
Throughout the years here.
No.
But. Again, also, maybe even before, you can always knock and say something. So I've done very well with knocking and asking people when there's a little bit of issue happening with that person. And every single person that I've talked to, it's just corrected it. So,
Go to the neighbor first is what you.
yeah, so what I'm saying is that if you got time to be there, maybe do a friendly knock and say, hey, you know, we're all in this together. If you're using your boat without a sticker, come on. You know, but I haven't witnessed it, I'm not saying it's not happening. But sometimes just the friendly reminder and saying, hey, guys, we're in this together, this is all of our place.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to try that route also. And they be more receptive to that, than getting a fine through CPM. You know, let's all be neighborly too.
Right.
One more.
Okay, get back to Sound Like Town. I would like to see the board reseed, regrade, reseed, and bring those rocks back up, so I can prove you guys wrong. So if you guys wanna waste your time, but I want the board, your volunteers, get in that water and haul those rocks back up and regrade, reseed, and then let's see who's right.
Okay, I understand that you really want that done, but I also will rely more on somebody that has dealt with it for many years.
Not that she's wrong.
You're welcome to your request.
Get us that.
Going once, twice, done.
Thank you for everybody's support. And Joe, thank you for coming on. You didn't have to.